The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel is written to us by Mark. In the course of his teaching, Jesus said to the crowds, "Beware of the scribes, who like to go around in long robes and accept greetings in the marketplace, seats of honor in the synagogue, and places of honor at banquets. They devour the savings of widows, and as a pretext recite lengthy prayers in public. They will receive a very severe condemnation." Then he sat down opposite the treasury, and he observed how the crowds put money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came and put in 2 small coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples to himself, he said to them, "I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury, for they have contributed from their surplus wealth, but she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood." This is the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Okay, let's look at this one. On first face, it looks like a story about a poor widow, and we're all supposed to feel sorry for her, and we do. But you know from the before and after of this that there's a backstory here. And the backstory is the critique of the temple system, which demands this of her. So it mentions at the beginning, beware of the scribes. The scribes normally took care of a widow's estate, and it seems he's saying they made sure they profited from it. So it's a critique of the clergy, a critique of the temple, which tends to take care of itself. In fact, years ago, I preached on this very gospel in, of all places, Trinity Church on Wall Street. And I'm not kidding. And I climbed up into the high pulpit. It was a summer afternoon, and I could see from the pulpit out of the front door of the church. And you know what you can see from the pulpit of Trinity Wall Street? You'll probably never be there, but you see the front of the New York Stock Exchange. Now, how does this tie together? Well, when he refers 2 or 3 times to the treasury, there's no treasury in Jerusalem. It's the temple. The temple has become completely aligned with the politics, and it's all one system that oppresses little people like this poor widow. That's the real message. And we'll see it if you want to go home and continue in Mark 12. You'll see the next verse continues this critique of the temple system. So he's in effect calling the temple the treasury, the New York Stock Exchange. You see, anything that is above criticism, anything, including religion, and that's what got us in the trouble we're in now. Anything above criticism will very soon be evil. I mean that. Anything too big to fail that we have to live on bended knee before will soon be even demonic. It serves itself while pretending to serve the people. So here it critiques the temple system, religion, but you could say this of every institution. Pick the one you want. The military-industrial complex, the healthcare system, the banking system, the penal system, the policing system. I'm not saying that the individual people are bad people. Very often they're wonderful, much better than I. But the system itself is usually something we're enthralled with. We cannot imagine living without it. That's what is normally very prone to evil. And I think it's got us in our political situation today. When head politicians think they are above criticism and can never admit they're wrong, we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. Anything that cannot admit fault will soon be evil. And I make that as an absolute statement. And if he can make this of religion itself, that religion is taking the savings of poor widows. And in Jewish culture, no one was more powerless than a widow. In a patriarchal culture, a woman, I'm sorry to say, was totally dependent upon her husband. And when he was gone, she had nothing, unless she had a son to take care of her. So she is the symbol of the helpless people in Jewish society. And he's saying here that religion itself doesn't really care about the poor. It just cares about itself. And we have to ask the question, not just of the church institution, but first of all of ourselves. Do we care about the powerless, the widows, as it were? Or do we just come to church to take care of ourselves? Only you can answer that question.